I'm back, and I'm going to read chapter 2 in One Wintry Night. Okay, remember where we left off, where Zeb was in the big storm? There you can see the picture of him, and then he had those two dogs, one on either side of him, and he came up to the cabin door and kind of just stumbled into the cabin. Let's see what happened next. The Boy and the Woman. Chapter 2. Next morning, the boy woke up and peered drowsily out of the window upon a strange world, where the sky was usually blue, the clouds were almost black, and where the ridge should have risen dark, it was white and soft. The dark leafless trees, they too were white. The huge snowflakes were still falling silently. Snow always filled the boy with excitement. He jumped from the big bed before noticing how high it was and nearly cried out in pain. He didn't, but when he looked at the ankle he had twisted last night, he saw it was swollen and blue. "Ah, doggone it," he exclaimed. "Now how would he get home?" He pulled on all but his left sock and shoe and limped across the hall to what looked to be the kitchen. "Good morning, Zeb," the woman said. "Morning, ma'am," he replied. The smell of frying bacon, fresh coffee, and wood smoke made him feel at home. You like that picture? He stood shyly beside the door, the large gray and white striped cat rubbing against his good leg. "Lost a shoe?" the woman asked. "No, ma'am. Coming down by Old Bear's Den last evening, where it's almighty steep, I twisted it. Didn't really notice till I jumped off that bed. It sure is high." "Well, that's because there's a trundle bed underneath it. Now, let me have a look." With gentle hands, she carefully felt the ankle. "You got a bad sprain," she said. "We'll soak it in ice and then wrap it well. I'm afraid you couldn't have hiked home today anyway. We're snowed in. I called friends in North Fork to get the word to your grandfather that you are here." "I'm obliged to you," the boy said. He stuffed down 2 helpings of scrambled eggs and bacon, while the puffy ankle soaked in a pan of water. Then the woman carefully wrapped it in a wide, elastic bandage. "You take this cane," she said, "and explore the house to see what your grandfather helped build. If your ankle begins to hurt, climb on the sofa and raise your ankle with some pillows. I'll read to you, and we'll talk about your grandfather. When evening comes, if you like, I'll tell you the Christmas story." It had been a full day, a fun day. By the time darkness fell, snow had covered the second rail of the fence outside and outside the living room window. The woman lit a fire in the fireplace that was large enough for a boy to stand in. The Christmas tree, with little white lights that twinkled against the old hewn logs, reached to the beamed ceiling. The boy leaned back, pillow tucked comfortably behind him, and another under the sprained ankle. I really want you to look at this picture. It's so beautiful. I'll get it just right so you can see it. There you go. There's a lot of details in that picture. Okay, I'll turn the page. "I like your house," he said suddenly. "Feels like home." "That's the nicest thing anyone could say about it," she said, smiling. "It's fun dressing it up for Christmas. Always has been. We have 5 children, and they're all married now with homes of their own. But we dress up the little piney cove for Jesus' birthday every Christmas. And if any of them can come home, they're more than welcome." "Got any grandkids?" 19. "Golly," the boy exclaimed, "just like some mountain folks." "Thank you, Zeb. I consider that a real compliment. You know," she continued, eyes smiling, "there's a gift for you under the tree." "For me?" Gray eyes widened in surprise. Among the piles of gifts awaiting the family's arrival, She picked up a long, skinny one wrapped in bright red with a shiny ribbon. Slowly he opened it. Unused to gifts, he didn't want to spoil the ribbon or tear the paper. There, across his lap, lay a walking stick made from a vine-strangled sapling. "It was here when we bought the place," explained the woman. "They said it belonged to your grandfather. When you showed up last night, I remembered it. I said to myself, this stick ought to belong to Zeb." The boy's hands felt along the curved groove left by the vine, his eyes bright. "I sure am pleased to get it," the boy said. "Mighty pleased." And he couldn't say any more. "Now," the woman announced, "the Christmas story." That's the end of chapter 2, and we'll read the Christmas story, the beginning of it, next time. Thanks for joining me.